average at least 34, 10, and 10 during the second round of the playoffs. His combined points, rebounds, and assists per game during the series, also second most, just behind a gentleman you two just brought up, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Shannon, before Skip jumps in here, is Joker proving to be the best player in basketball right now?
Well, for me, I think it's between him and Giannis, and you're not going to get a whole lot of debate from me if someone says that Giannis is better. But I think right now, given the totality of what we've seen in the postseason, and I know, Skip, I don't know Giannis hurt his back in game one, and maybe he wasn't the same player, but he did miss, 11, 12 free throws in that game in which they lost. They probably would have won had he made some of those free throws. It's the consistency in which he plays with on a nightly basis. And what do you need from Yoke on a nightly basis? Do you need him to facilitate? Because he'll give you 17 assists. Do you need him to score? He'll give you 53 points. Man, we need you on the glass tonight. He'll give you 19 rebounds. So there's not a role offensively that he can't take and dominate. A lot of guys need to dominate the scoring role. Or you have a guy like a Kevon Looney, Skip, he can only dominate the rebounding role. But if you need an offensive role, he can be your point guard, which he's a center, 7-foot point guard. He can be your guy that cleans the glass, or he's the guy that can give you 53 points. Skip, look at these numbers. In game 2, he scored 39 points on 57% shooting. In game 3, he scored 30 points on 58% shooting. In game 4, he scored 53 points on 67% shooting, 50% from the three. 29 points in game 5 on 60% shooting. Game 6, 32 points on 72% shooting. So the thing is, Skip, it doesn't matter how many shots he gets, he shoots at such a high level, and then he gets to the free throw line because he's not only is he shooting 50, 60% from the floor, he's shooting 50% from the three. And as you mentioned, he's an 84, 85% free throw shooter. So offensively, he has no weakness in his game. You just got to make him work. When AD gets the ball, you got to make him work, AD. You got to get him in foul trouble, do whatever it takes, but you can't let him rest because he's resting against DeAndre Ayton. So now you get his full arsenal offensively because you let him take a nap on the defensive end. AD can't allow him to do that. So right now, Skip, I say he's the best player given the efficiency in which he plays. And on a nightly basis, Skip, I can count on him. I know he's gonna be. He had the little calf injury towards the end of the season, and I think he missed like 7 or 8 games, Skip. But right now, if I had a vote, I would say Nikola Jokic. Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
Okay, I am not going to give this up. Joel Embiid did win MVP, and he won it for a reason. And even you, as big a Jokic fan and defender as there is, you gave it up with maybe it's about 3 weeks left in the season. You finally said, I give up, I give in, he is the MVP.
Yeah.
He won it because he deserved it. And I will go to my grave saying this. High-placed source that I have and have known him for years in the Sixers organization, in their structure, first told me after Game 3 of the Brooklyn series, Embiid had gotten tangled up and had fallen into the basket support.
Yeah.
And he was complaining about his knee, and they said, we think it's going to be okay. We think it's just Joel being Joel, that he tends to have this and that, and he complains about it, and then he manages to work through it. And then he continued to complain, and it continued to swell in the interim between they closed out without him in Game 4, so they swept Brooklyn. And then all of a sudden, they MRI it because he kept complaining, and there is a tear in his ligament in his knee. They might be able to just, because they have the whole offseason, they might try to let it heal. They might, but again, it's probably significant enough that I know at least one person in that organization would rather go ahead and try to get it fixed and get it fixed now and sooner than later. Okay, so the point is, did it stop him from playing? No. He wore a brace for a while, then he just wore a sleeve. Did he ever look like himself against the Boston Celtics? Not to me. All he could do was stand in the lane on defense and block shots, and he blocked a good number of shots because as we speak, in average blocks per game in the playoffs, Joel has finished the postseason at number 2 to AD. AD is dominating the whole league in the playoffs in block shots.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Jokic in blocks per game in the postseason ranks all the way down at 35th. He just doesn't block a lot of shots. Okay. So what do I know about what happened when Embiid played Jokic? This is all the way back in January. But when Embiid was playing his greatest basketball ever, this is what happened. He took 31 shots in that game, which are a lot, but he took them because he could make them. and he scored 47 points, but he made 18 of 31 shots. He didn't really get to the free throw line that much because he was just unstoppable. He wasn't even getting fouled. He was just making shots. He made 7 of 10 free throws. Usually he's more like 8 or 9 of 10. But in that game, he had 18 rebounds. He did have 5 assists, pretty good for a big guy. And he had 3 steals and 2 blocks in that game. Meanwhile, Jokic only took 12 shots. They played the same number of minutes. It was 37 to 38. But Jokic only took 12 shots and made 8 of them. I'll give you that.
Right.
But that's only 24 points. And he got his 9 assists and he got his 8 rebounds. But he did have 7 turnovers along with that because they were defending at a high level. So the point is, it was 47 to 24 head-to-head in points scored. Well, that was the day I just threw up my hands. I watched the whole game and I said, right now, Embiid is the best player in basketball. And he went on to prove that. And he validated and drove home the final nail in the, so to speak, coffin of all the rivals with 52 against Boston. So I'm going to quickly show you the shots that he made against Boston in that 52-point game. It's late in the regular season, obviously. Just to remind you, this is what I didn't see any of this against Boston this time. I was shocked that this Boston series got to a Game 7 because it didn't deserve to get this far, especially with James Harden going south. But here are the shots for Embiid. This is against the Celtics about, 6 weeks ago. And see, these are the shots. He didn't have this kind of, as he said, I quote him, he said, obviously I have no lift. Well, he had no spring. He couldn't get up to shoot his jump shots like this where he's just, that's a Jokic shot, actually. But these little fadeaways, they got nobody who can defend it, and they wouldn't have had in this series. You could argue Robert Williams bothered him more than usual, and he wasn't playing this day. But look at these shots. In my time of watching 7'1" guys, you call him 7'2", I call him 7'1", I've never seen such touch from a man that tall from mid-range and occasionally from 3. This is unstoppable. This is where you tip your cap and just say, well, that's just too good. I didn't see any of that against the Celtics in this series this time. And it hurt my heart to watch it because I believe in this guy. And he wasn't complaining about some knick-knack injury, some little minor hangnail type injury. He had a tear. And to his credit, he tried to at least go out there and play. And he, for once, toughed it out. But where are they going to go if he can't make those kind of shots? Did you see that kind of shot making? You saw none of it.
Well, Skip, look, I'm not arguing whether or not he's a great player. Obviously, he's a great player, but I don't know too many people who will say that he's better than Nikola Jokic because offensively, Jokic rebounds the ball better than he does. He passes the ball 10 times better than he does. Jokic doesn't score as much because Jokic doesn't shoot as much. But if you look at if you were to look at the field goal attempts for Joel Embiid, for Nikola Jokic, and you extrapolate the field goal percentage in which they both shoot, Jokic probably going to average 35, 36 points a game.
Okay. But defensively, which you always just eliminate it.
Well, I couldn't tell you, did he play defense Sunday? Because how the hell JT got 51? And you see him driving to the basket?
Shots. He blocked Jason Tatum a bunch of times.
He didn't block him in game 7.
Yeah. Who would you rather have on defense, Embiid or Jokic? I'm not sure Jokic.
I'd rather have Jokic instead of Embiid. So whatever comes along with Joel, whatever comes along with Nikola Jokic, or whatever doesn't come along with it, I want it.
Does Jokic block shots? No, he does not. Does he defend at a high level? No, he does not. All year long, if you looked at individual defensive win shares, Embiid sometimes he was 1, but he finished.
Who won PER?
Huh?
Who PER key?
Well, that's about offense. That's all about offense.
Okay, where your guy at right now? Where your guy at? My guy is getting ready to play in the Western Conference Finals. Where your guy?
My guy's contemplating surgery. That's where he is right now. And to your point, you got all those stats you gave yesterday. His closeout games, I guess they are. They're not pretty.
Terrible.
Not a pretty.
So I just want to know: is he hurt every game 7 that he's played in?
No, it was just this one. It was just this one. It was this whole series because he was shadow of self. I couldn't even recognize.
And then throw his teammates under the bus through Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Melton, threw all those guys under the tuck. Like, threw them under the bus.
Can't defend it. I agree. It tore him up because he talked all year long about. All that matters to me
that's what
is
he said.
The postseason.
That's all he said. Well, Paul, you know he wanted the MVP. They don't like me. I don't think the media likes. Stop it. They love you. because you got a big outgoing personality. You're very personable. You're funny. So don't talk about they didn't like you because you didn't win the award. So now what?
I think the media loves Jokic.
They love Joel Embiid too.
I don't know. When I hear those inside the NBA guys, when they have Jokic on, they just go crazy about what a great guy is, what a great interview is, what a great face of a franchise
he ad-libbed. I think they asked him something about he had passed. I think he passed Wilt for the most triple doubles.
Yep.
And he's like was Shaq on that list. he got funny in one line. Yeah.
No, he's got subtle, sarcasm to him. It's funny, okay? So they're both good guys, as far as, but again, to your point, Jokic is not going to be throwing his teammates under bus because there's no reason to at this point.
Right. We win together. You ain't have no problem with it. We're feeding you all them shots and you scored 52 or whatever they score. I think that he scored half of their points.
Yeah.
Don't do that, Skip.
Okay. Have you ever seen a better 7'2" free throw shooter than this guy? I haven't.
No.
He's 86%, and he gets to the line way more than Jokic.
Man, he be flopping.
Well, okay, but he gets there because he is a huge man. He's bigger than Jokic.
Yes.
He's more athletic than Jokic, obviously.
Yes.
Who isn't more athletic than Jokic? Well, seriously.
He'll got to stay on the floor.
Okay.
I think he breakdances sometimes. I mean, hell, I know he was a hell of a breakdancer when he was growing up.
Well, that may be one reason he gets hurt so much is because he tries to get the call by hitting the floor, and it's called hardwood for a reason because it's hard.
Yeah.
And when you fall on it and you weigh 330 pounds, something might go.
Yeah.
Something might go. And it did. His knee went again, and maybe he's going to be one of those Zion-type players where you're just always.
And all they say,
hurt.
what you gonna do your time off? He said, I'm gonna get in the pool. I'm gonna watch my horses. He just down to, I want to, you know what? Hey, Nuggets, y'all need to send me a Yoke jersey. Have him autograph it too.
Okay, but you're picking the Lakers.
So
you want to talk about mixed emotions.
But
you got problems. I'm just picking Denver because they got 4 games at home and they're better.
Let me ask you a question. If they weren't playing the Lakers, who you think I'd pick?
Well, I would hope so.
You hope so?
Well, you'd pick these guys.
Yeah,
right?
just like I picked them against your sons. As I told you.
If Joker is what you say he is, Denver is going to win this series. It's as simple as that.
But LeBron James is what you know he is.
What do I know?
You say Shannon, if Nikola Jokic is what you said he is, LeBron James is what we know he is.
Okay, but LeBron James is 38 years of age.
Don't matter.
In year 20.
The 4 books. What are the 4 books of the Bible? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So LeBron James is the gospel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Matthew, Mark, Luke, and James.
Yeah. He the gospel, Skip Bayless. The gospel. Set your clock back. What time the clock say? That's LeBron James. Yeah. Whatever time, that's the truth.
I know. The clock says we got to go. Right?
They've been saying that for the last 2 minutes in our era.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.